Sagittarius, hi, welcome to my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. That's where you are right now. I'm Desi, and this is my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. I am thrilled to see you here for this April tarot reading. Merry Christmas. I know I shouldn't be saying that because this is a reading for April, but I'm dressed like Christmas. That happened on a whim. It was an intuitive thing, and now I'm looking into the meaning of why that happened, and I think it's because I want to celebrate the beginning of this new astrological year, Aries season, hello, with some straight up undistilled Christmas spirit. I mean, are we gonna have things to celebrate this April, Sag, or what? So I'm about to tune in with Santa, just kidding, tuning in with source energy, all there is, higher power, the divine, whatever you want to call it. I guess that includes Santa. So if you want a reading from Santa right now, that's what's happening. But before I do that, I do want to thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing this channel, commenting every single time I hear from you. I don't care if you're a stranger, don't care if I've never met you in my life. I love you every time anyone talks to me. I wonder if that is a product of quarantine. No, I've always loved everyone who talks to me. But I do think that there's something very special about connecting with people over the internet, especially strangers, because I'm connecting with far fewer strangers in my life right now. And you know what? I miss it. I think there is something about the human spirit, something in our human spirit that is hurting right now by not having that stranger connection as much. So being part of this collective, being part of this online community means so much to me. I'm truly honored and privileged to get to connect with you here in this way. So thank you so much. If you have an intention to set, a desire to manifest, a question to ask, anything that you want to offer up to Spirit, that you want insight on, you need guidance for, you need some downloads to help you, please focus on that now as I tune in and shuffle. And we're about to get a blueprint here for your April Sag that will best align you with your highest self and your highest path. Merry Christmas, just kidding, and let's do this. Sagittarius, we've got the Six of Wands, Page of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. Whatever project you've been approaching very practically, very methodically, you've been working on it every day, you've made it into, you've made a habit of it, you have been doing everything you're supposed to do to make that happen, to take care of that, to be responsible for it. Whether that is a project, a relationship, any endeavor, really. Whatever that is, it's time for you to step away from that garden because you've worked it hard and long enough that it's taken on life and direction of its own, and it will continue growing in the way that you have been supporting it. That's what the Seven of Pentacles is about. You can't micromanage what has become, what's taken on a life of its own now. It's almost like what you've been parenting, I'm hearing for some of you, like what you have been, whatever project or thing or literal family where you have been like parenting. You've been guiding, you've been mentoring, you've been carefully like managing the direction of something. It's become what you've hoped it would become. It's gotten to a point where it's actually best for you to step back and see how it does without your micromanagement. And instead put your put your focus elsewhere. Six of Wands is the card of victory. Like, you are coming home victorious from something. Whether it is this garden, this project, like, it is you are already on the road to victory. And you have this choice between continuing to kind of focus on this thing where you aren't really needed anymore, where it's not really the best place to put your efforts, where your efforts will really matter the most. Instead, your efforts will really matter the most now by asking what it is that you want now. How have your desires changed? What is the new desire? Regardless of the destination, where it will bring you. What are you desiring to do right now in this present moment? Page of Wands represents, I see actually some of you, this is literally a child that you are micromanaging or parenting in some way, and you've done that victoriously, and there is a letting go that needs to happen right now. For others of you, this is about channeling this childlike approach to a passion of yours, an aspect of life free from external pressure. As children, pages often very often symbolize like beginnings, study, reflection, all the qualities of a young student, just having this open-mindedness and this zest for the present moment and learning for the sake of learning. Learning how to play baseball because they love baseball, not because they have any plans of becoming a professional baseball player. It's just the joy of learning, studying, beginning something, beginning an endeavor, starting a project that is rooted in sole purpose, that's rooted in pure, innocent desire, the desire just to do something. It also can be something that's a kind of gut instinct in you, almost like you're having an instinctual idea or an instinctual pull towards something, towards a new project. It's time to honor that, not ask, well, what is this going to get me, or where does this fit in along my my very practical approach to project management that I've been doing with my garden over here. It doesn't matter how it fits into it. Your efforts will be better spent, maximize benefits that you receive by honoring the thing that needs your careful attention, your present consciousness. And then, Sag, what we have at the bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. So it's like saying that all of your journey thus far, the challenges that you have faced you're about to justify all of those challenges, all those obstacles, because you are very much experiencing real success. Again, this victory, wish fulfillment, success in April that will reframe your whole past up until this point, your journey, your struggles up until this point. And maybe that's the boost that you need to have the courage to try something new, to start again. Because the older we get, the harder and harder it is to become a student again, to become a child again in many ways, to admit that we don't know something and be in that place of openness and learning and reflection and study just for the sake of doing it, not with any preoccupation of what it's going to get us, where it's going to lead. What box will that help us check off to show that we're winning the game as adults? Like, that's not what this is about. And it might surprise you, Sag, to really channel this Page of Wands energy and let go of the very practical projects you've worked so hard on that don't really need you anymore, and instead now honor what your soul is calling you to do, what those desires are telling you to do, without judging what you want, without judging the desires that you have no control over whether or not you have them. They've been implanted in you like seeds from a higher power, and it's not your job to figure out why or judge, understand, oh, this is why I want that, or this is why I deserve to do that or why I don't deserve to do that. There's no analysis that happens when we honor the seeds planted within us. The analysis happens after, when we see how honoring those desires, where the honoring of those desires bring us to a new consciousness, to a new awareness that then we can learn from. That is what answers questions for us, by saying yes and acting on it, not by questioning it skeptically before we act on it, thinking like, I know better than this desire that I have, that came from somewhere else, that came from some higher power, some different plane. If I think my way through this enough, I can find a way to not do this, to not pursue this path, or to explain away this desire. And we often end up hurting ourselves and suffering immensely by doing that, by thinking that we know better than the universe with whom we are co-creating. So this is really an opportunity for you to co-create and to know and recognize your successes, your victories thus far, and have the hope of that, the optimism of that, and life experience of that to push you through future obstacles that you might have in starting something new, in beginning again. This is really beautiful, Sagittarius. I'm really excited for you, and I would love to hear what this new venture is, what your soul is calling you out to do. What do you feel afraid to admit that you don't know? What are you feeling afraid to be a beginner at again? And what are you afraid to step away from? What's that garden that is blossoming now beautifully on its own, that you have poured so much of yourself into, and that is really rewarding in so many ways? That's still a part of you. You stepping away from it or letting go of it doesn't detach you from it. It doesn't erase the journey of tending to that garden, of doing everything that you have done to make that the beautiful blossoming Eden that it is right now, and that it's headed to even becoming more of. I would love to hear more details from you, Sagittarius. Feel free to comment below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And thank you again for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love you. I am so grateful for you. I'm rooting for you this April, and I'll see you next time.